Hi guys, it's me Stormie and I'm back with another video collaboration with Miss J from Wychcity Candles. We're doing not only the full moon in Cancer, which is going to be happening January 12th, 2017, but we've also got a ritual for you to go along with that. And you can always make these rituals your own or do them exact. Feel it out, try some things, see what works for you. It's all about channeling the energy into your greatest good. Now, this full moon coming in January is not just the full moon in Cancer. It's actually a very busy time. We have got the transiting moon and sun forming a grand square. We've also got a grand cross going on. Now, this grand square that was going to be happening between Pluto, Jupiter, and Uranus. And this is actually a very busy transiting time. There's a lot of things happening that day, especially that grand cross pulling us in different directions, kind of making us feel like, oh, where do I need to grow? You know what I mean? But ultimately, what I think that this entire full moon process and what these grands are bringing us to is these questions about what is my value? Right? Like, what am I doing here? Where am I strong right now in my life? Where am I weak? Where do I need to learn some more things? Where do I need to give in? Where do I need to stand up? You know, a lot of those questions really get answered, I think, as we begin to move around this full moon. Now, kind of the layout of the energies is that they're all in cardinal signs. I love that because these are our starter energies, right? So we've got Cancer, Capricorn, Libra, and Aries. That's where we're making all of these connections. But this is like dropping a big starter bomb on, hey, get your butt moving in some direction that we need to grow. Now, this will differ depending on which houses are being affected in your individual charts. So if you don't have your full natal chart so that you can take a look at it, you want to click down below and make sure you definitely get it ordered. But the other things that this helps us do when you do understand your places is to just say, this is where I can come to the next level. So let me just tell you basically about the setup. All right, everybody. So as we look at this chart as a little bit of a visual representation to try and help everybody kind of visualize this, we can see right away that some of the players we have is that we're going to have the moon in Cancer going to be in an opposition to the sun right down here in Capricorn. As well, if you look, you can see that we've got Pluto right here coming into a square with Jupiter, who's over here in Libra. As well, Pluto is also coming into a square with Uranus over here in Aries. So there we go. We see it. One big fat grand cross. We look around these outsides. Everybody is touching each other, doing some nice things. It's really quite wonderful, right? At the same time, the other pieces we want to consider is that over here, we've got Mercury, who's just direct, right? He hasn't been direct for very long. He only came direct on the 8th. So by the 12th, he's there, but he's not completely in the game yet. But he is hooking up down there with Saturn, everybody's down in Sagittarius. So those two planets right here, these guys right here, are going to square Mars, who is now in a conjunction with Chiron right over here. Okay, see these guys, they're hanging out, they're really close together. Now we're over here making a connection to both Mercury and Saturn. Now, as you can see down here, there's a lot going on in Pisces. We've actually got a stellium down there, right? So Venus in a conjunction with Neptune and Mars in a conjunction with Chiron. We don't talk about Chiron often, so I'm going to talk about that when I do the breakdown. Now, one of the other cool things that we get to see is that it's like, okay, is there no like chill time in this chart? And that's not true. There really is. There's a lot of help. We have the sun and Pluto in a sextile, which is really good. This aspect that they're making to each other, really wonderful. And whenever the planets have sex, that's good for us. As well, Mars and Chiron being together, actually, even though they're going to dig up some things that we need to work on, they're bringing a sense of understanding that the only way through it is to get in it. Whatever it is, if it's something from childhood, if it's a fear that you've got to get in it in order to get to the other side of it, or it just won't work. It also tells us to go to our quiet places, right? Prayer, meditation, those quiet moments and looking at those practices are going to be what helps us change and transform. And that's beautiful. As well, we have Mars and Chiron actually in a really nice trine up here to that moon up in Cancer. And what I do like about that is that it actually kind of diverts energy. And so it takes a little bit of the stress off of that moon, but wherever Mars goes, he can also bring issues, right? So with all of this energy happening in Pisces, we've got Neptune, we've got that stellium down there. If you have not been living the life that you've been wanting to live, if you've not been acknowledging and taking action on this thing within inside of you that is just so ready to manifest that you can taste it, if you haven't actually been taking action on it, or you've been trying and it hasn't completely come out the way you want it to, Mars could definitely bring some irritation. He could bring some annoyance. He could make you be like, what else do I have to do to get this thing off the ground? You know, it could definitely be an interesting energy. Now, I also think with anything in the 12th house, I want you to really be aware of your dreams and what's happening with your dreams, because maybe something intuitive is trying to come through to you in a vision, in your dreams, in a very intuitive moment, and that's trying to guide you towards the direction of what you really want to be doing with your life. Now, Jupiter over in Libra is also in a really nice aspect with that Saturn Mercury. So it's kind of nice because I think it's that place where it's like, yeah, I could really use a pep talk, or you could give a pep talk, right? So you can accept new people into your world, a new partnership, a new relationship, a new teacher. So as long as you are in the mood or willing to have a new little cheerleader blow through, I think that these are actually some really positive aspects for us to be using and considering, while we're also looking at, you know, all of the crossing, the squares that we've got, because the crossing and the squares are going to definitely pull us into different positions, different directions, and make us demand that we acknowledge the areas of our chart that are being lit up. So let's talk a little bit about what each of these pieces mean before we get to the ritual. So when we're looking at any full moon, the full moon, this is the type of luminary that can actually be very emotional for us, because it shows us that something has to end, be adjusted, or be acknowledged. And so a full moon is always trying to shed light to say, hey, guess what? You've still got room for growth. Like, you can still grow here. This needs to change. We need to adjust this. And it's always for our greatest good. Now, this particular full moon that's going to be happening in the sign of Cancer, this is that space where, if you think about the way the crab works, like, the best thing they do is they go within, rustle some things around before they come out, and then go indirectly towards it, right? So really, when we're looking at this full moon, one of the things that I think that it calls for is that personal power from within. And the only way that I know how to help another person walk through that or guide somebody through that with astrology is to say, what are you tapped into? Where is your security and your faith and your grounding coming from? Whatever that looks like for you. But the truest power that you're going to have access to is going to come from within, and then you have to use it. You have to bring it out. You have to celebrate those around you. And if you cannot celebrate those around you because you're still in that protective space, that may be something that needs to end so that you can become one of and enjoy and join and take really good advantage of all of these beautiful relationships that Jupiter is trying to help bring into your world to help you move to this next level. Now, when we talk about Jupiter, again, especially with everything going on in the world, everything happening in our personal lives, in our internal lives, Jupiter, in the aspects that we see him in this month, is also the signal for growth, new partnerships, and peace, right? Like, Jupiter really is very wise. So besides just being this expansion planet, and besides being this over-exaggerated, Jupiter is very wise. So when he shows up, he wants to help us take advantage of bringing wisdom to the table so that we can grow. Now, one of the things that really does make this Jupiter energy challenging is because we do have that Mars and Chiron conjunction. Chiron is our wounded healer. Chiron's already been hurt, right? He's already done the thing. And that's how he knows that you can heal from this thing over here and move forward to the other side, and then hand your story away to somebody else so that they too can have life. And the other thing that Chiron does, he is beautiful, especially when we put Chiron and Mars together, is they dig around there in our childhood, right? In our core root beliefs that came from us from childhood, memories, good ones, bad ones, everything in between, but usually the wounds, the ones that hurt or need the most adjusting, and they rush those to the surface, right? So that we have to deal with them. Now, the catch for the humaning is that sometimes we like to get caught in the blame game, right? I am this way, or this is happening to me because of somebody else. But the wisdom of Jupiter in this beautiful Cancer full moon says, no, you have to own it. At this point, you are able to be responsible for your life and the choices moving forward, but you've got to lean into that wound and heal and let it go and forgive. And that doesn't always mean doing it alone. Jupiter will help to usher in some kind of partnership to help you get back into that and to get to the other side, whether that's a therapist, a friend, whatever that partnership ends up looking like. Jupiter is actually there trying to help, and this moon is giving a beautiful luminary to that. Now, I will tell you too, the other thing I think of at any full moon is to consider all of your healing modalities, okay? Really, truly. If it's therapy, if it's just a coffee conversation, if it's Reiki because you're still holding something within the body, whatever it is that you use to go forward, there are so many healing modalities you can grab onto and take personal benefit for, that you want to use those so that you can have these powerful meditations, so that you can have these powerful quiet moments of peace just within your own world. Now, we do have that stellium down in the bottom there, down into the sign of Pisces, and this is art. This is music, music therapy, Zumba. Maybe you have to put on some gangster rap and just handle it. You know what I mean? That's what this energy is bringing about for you. Now, what you have to watch for with having this many planets in that very watery placement is addiction, escapism, not wanting to confront these things that maybe Mars and Chiron bring up for us to see, right? Don't get caught up in all of that watery stuff that is just too much. It's just a distraction. But instead, use that energy if you can to see that Pisces is our 12th sign. What they do is surrender. Right? Surrender to the truest things that you want in your life. What's the wisdom? What's the magic that you want to create with your life? What's the vision back there? What's that thing you wanted to do when you were 20? It's time to bring that now to the surface, right? And along with that, in order to do that and to fulfill that thing, these things from childhood, from the past, from 10 years ago, whatever it is that is trying to tie you down so that you can't break free and grow, you get to address all of it, but it's all in one upward forward motion. How absolutely beautiful is that? If nothing else, what I can say as a whole is that every full moon is a beautiful opportunity for each of us to encounter a level of humility that maybe we had moved away from, because it is the ultimate sign of you don't know everything. There's still tons to learn, and let yourself be guided and grounded. Oh, I'm very, very excited for that. We've got a beautiful ritual coming up for you to clear some space, clear out family stuff, clear out childhood stuff, and to just get your space ready to move forward inspired, cleared, with more clarity and a lot more wisdom to bring to the table. I love you guys so much. Like this video, comment, share, subscribe, and sorry for a little bit of the weirdness in the middle. I'm trying some new advanced editing, so hopefully the video is still beautiful and you can understand it all. I love you guys. Bye.
Hello everyone and welcome. I have this little setup going on right here for those of you out there who are interested in clearing away family issues while also bringing in some of that peaceful healing energy as well. We're going to be doing this ritual for the upcoming full moon in Cancer. I'm going to get a little closer so that you all can see the setup as it is. The deck that I'm using for this video is the Shadowscape Tarot. We're going to need the Chariot card, the 10 of Cups. We're going to need a white candle, a blue candle, and some lavender flowers. You're going to do the setup exactly the way that you see here in this video. The white candle is going to be with the Chariot card, and the blue candle is going to be with the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups represents happy family. The white candle represents clearing, The blue candle represents peace, tranquility, and healing. The lavender flowers also represent peace, tranquility, and healing. On the night of the full moon in Cancer, we're going to light first the white candle for clearing, and then we're going to light the blue candle. I hope that you all like this video setup that I brought to you today. I wish you all a lot of love, a lot of healing energy with this. I hope that you like this ritual. Check out my channel, Wychcity Candles, on YouTube for more rituals. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you all soon.